Okay, let's start with a little film called Garfield Gets Real, one of the best films I've ever seen.
I can't find the Garfield outfit!
Oh, mother of God. We gotta move to Plan R. D? M?
What's that?
The Mickey Mouse Musketeer movie?
That's a weird movie choice.
But if the file cabinet's asking, get the costume then.
I gotcha!
Hello, and today we'll be talking about Mickey, Donald, and Goofy in The Three Musketeers. Wow, does that have a long title? The Three Musketeers released smack middle of that direct-to-DVD craze of the early 2000s, where spin-offs and sequels to Disney's beloved library were being released with great success, arguably sometimes even more than their feature films at the time. I, of course, grew up in this age. There were a lot of good ones and a lot of bad movies. Everyone's talked about them, but I don't see people talk about this strange specimen. What originally was supposed to be a short in the 80s with Jose Carioca being the fourth musketeer. I haven't even watched the film yet, I'm already being lied to. I'm not prepared for this. It was eventually revived after a 75th anniversary for Mickey got cancelled due to the numerous Disney cameos being considered a bit too much or a bit gimmicky. Even though this was the same company that made this, and said okay to this. And for some background info, I've never been a big fan of Mickey. I love Goofy, Donald has a charm to him that I like, but I never found Mickey himself to be that interesting compared to other cartoon icons of the time like Bugs Bunny or Tom and Jerry. Heck, I even prefer Mario as an all-around character that embodies fun. So in other words, I hate that rat. Wear a shirt for once, he only wore one for the job. This is going to be a bit of an uphill battle for me because last time I remember, this was okay. Nothing bad, but this has been burned into my mind, so let's hope I don't get biased.
Okay, I got it!
What's that?
Musketeer? Come on, and you're the smart one?
No, musketeers as in the occupation.
I don't understand.
French cowboy.
Gotcha!
The plot is simple. This turtle gets his chance to tell his abridged story of the Three Musketeers starring Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, who are hapless janitors who get promoted to their dream job of musketeers as a ploy by Captain Pete to kidnap the Queen of France and name himself king, since the three suck mega poo-poo as musketeers. It's standard, it works, it's kind of as simple as a cartoon plot can be. For the most part, it didn't do anything extraordinary or really anything that made me go, yes! For a good while. But then the second half starts to get pretty good. The stakes actually start getting a bit bigger and more investing because of the characters. Don't get me wrong, the characters are just their regular personas. Pete obviously steals the show since everyone knows he's objectively the best character in any Mickey Mouse cartoon. I don't make the rules, I only speak the truth. And remember what I said about Mickey? Well, that's actually midgetated here, since there's an actual character behind him. Wow. He wants to become a musketeer so bad, but can't because he's tiny, despite Donald being close to the same height as him, but at least it's shown multiple times in how that height impedes him as a musketeer throughout the movie. And when he overcomes it with the help of his friends, it's nice. Kinda simple, but nice. In fact, Goofy and Donald have similar personal issues that are shown, because if there's one thing that I love to see in fiction but loathe in real life, it's inadequacy. Goofy's arc is how he's a doofus and is solved in the middle of the movie with him showing that he's smart in his own way, but after that there's not much of him having any other clever ideas, which I felt would have been neat to see. Maybe have him stumble upon a broken floorboard and uses that against the Beagle Boys like Pete, like how he discovered the windmill trip earlier, making his accidental genius somewhat prevalent. Otherwise he's just Goofy, but he honestly is the weakest part of the three. But my favorite character in this movie is Donald Duck for having a really good character arc, to be honest. Donald being a coward who wants to be a musketeer is actually interesting, where we see Donald being a coward throughout the film, especially in the climax where we see Donald leave Mickey behind in his eventual return, and honestly gives good heart to the film. And to be honest, I clicked on a movie about a talking rat. Did you expect me to feel emotions? Wish Donald had a realization for himself instead of being guilt-tripped into doing so, despite it being pretty funny. Honestly, if it wasn't for these characters as well defined as Mickey or Donald, this film would have been pretty boring for others and for me. But no, they actually take advantage that this is a Mickey Mouse cartoon instead of trying to copy the plot of the original story, which I think is the best way to go in doing these kind of things. I mean, the original book had executions, so I think that's not very kid-friendly to show. Wait. If anything, I think the troubadour is kind of unnecessary here, since the film could have started with a storybook opening with a comic instead of whoever this is. Which, what do you know, was an alternate beginning here.
The wrong book? Turn the page. Yes, you are going to like this book much better, It has pictures.
There's just a lot more moments here. Like, once the troubadour starts reading from the comic instead of the actual Musketeer book, the crew just went, I'm bored, I want to see where this goes.
Isn't that Mickey?
Oh, no, I ain't dealing with that mouse. He doesn't wear a shirt. We could have just had a narrator, and the turtle didn't even add much to the story. In fact, if he's a real character that forces himself into a story, oh my god, he's an isekai. But either way, I gotta give my praise to the animation. Like, holy cow. This is some impressive animation for being direct to DVD. I could argue that this could be close enough to be ready for theaters. The way these characters move with such quality and the background's having a really nice, soft, muted look reminiscent of French paintings is really nice. The mostly brown backgrounds really help make other colors or settings pop out, like the characters, and the backgrounds like Skull Island or the Opera House. This is also some of the better character looks I've seen, and honestly, this is the closest I think of when I think of Mickey and the gang, except for the clothing. Heck, even Pete looks the best he's ever been in any media in my opinion, taking little notes from his classic design yet being appealing in a modern way as well. Was never a fan of other appearances of Pete outside of a Goofy movie. He just looked off. Like, it didn't feel like Pete. It felt like someone related to Pete, if that makes sense. Wait, is this a musical? Yes! Kind of. They basically use classical music and just slap some lyrics on them, and for some of them, they fit really well in context of the plot. But other times, it's sort of a drag. There's so many songs focused on romance, and if there's one thing kids love to see, it's people kissing. Look at this. Almost half of the soundtrack is romance. To be fair, 2 of them are humorous, but it's still a bit much for me, and my favorite that I'd keep if I could only keep one is the first one. Because not only is it saying the core thing that Minnie wants, and so basically her entire personality, but how the lyrics are trying to tell her to watch out for the Beagle Boys while Dragon is safe, it's fun. In fact, let's do a quick ranking of all the songs based on classical music from Mickey, Donald, Goofy, and the Three Musketeers. This is the worst song, it's just too slow in my taste. Clarabelle's song is fine, but I ain't feeling like hearing it again anytime soon. This Is the End is good, just too short to really beat the other songs in the list. Love So Lovely is pretty good, like the humor that was used here, reason why it's above the other romance songs. La Opera is accompanied with some fun action, overall bumping it up here. All for One and One for All is pretty good, it's literally the one song I associate with this film, so props to it. Pete's song is just fun, honestly fits his character amazingly, and it's just pretty good to listen to. One thing about the film is that there's a full version of This Is the End, the song where Troubadour calls out Donald for being a wimp, but it was never used in the full film, which is kind of strange, but they kept in the best parts, so there's that. It doesn't affect the score in any meaningful way, but when was I gonna get another chance to talk about This Is the End from Mickey, Donald, Goofy, and the Three Musketeers? Now I need a funny transition to the next topic. This movie's just funny. I don't think this is the funniest film of all time, but there's a good handful of jokes here that got a good chuckle out of me. Again, I refer to Pete, he's just fun, the voice actor is having a blast with his voice, and the rest are not too far off.
I'm in such a good mood.
This movie does a good job in juggling fun cartoon antics with a bit more heart in its center.
Bonjour!
No, like this!
That's not a cowboy,
That's kinda like a cowboy.
but it's blue. That's not a cowboy.
Okay then, this.
I gotcha!
With what I can imagine due to the quality of the animation and the rather simple plot, this film clocks only around an hour. Reminds me of Winnie the Pooh, to be honest. It's short, but sweet experience. But overall, it was just meant to be a love letter to those classic Disney shorts. Think about it. The simple plot, emphasis on being funny with a good heart, like Disney, and several characters that weren't used that often making their appearances, like the Beagle Boys and Clarabelle. It's all meant to be a callback to that era. There's even little nods like Mickey and Donald's classic outfits making appearances and Donald doing his classic angry pose here. And other fun stuff that I probably missed because, again, I don't like Mickey. Don't believe me? Look at the bonus features. There's a little side menu dedicated to the many hats of Mickey, which basically show clips of different shorts where Mickey wore specific hats. I would prefer having the full shorts, but it's nice regardless. Also, you can wear a hat but not a shirt. There's even an interview with the crewmen where they treat it as if this is a Roger Rabbit world, like Mickey and the gang were actors.
Unexpected romance between co-stars is the stuff that Hollywood gossip and legend has thrived on for decades. But when Goofy and Clarabelle ignited a romantic firestorm on the set of The Three Musketeers, no one knew just how big the story would be.
And even the characters gained their own commentary for a small section of the movie.
Look how sad you made Mickey.
Oh, it's okay, Goofy. We were just acting.
Huh? We was acting?
That's right, Goofy.
It was a movie. It was a movie? Now you tell me.
This is the stuff I live for. Even in the main menu, there's this cute little bit if you wait long enough.
How long do we gotta stand like this?
Uh-oh, straighten up, guys. On your toes. We're on duty. Attention. Well done, men. Great.
The bonus features here are here for a reason. You aren't just getting a movie. You're getting a whole bunch of extra stuff as a reward for buying this DVD in the first place. There's a lot of love put in here, and it's the epitome of what direct-to-DVD films were, besides being a thing to sell to dumb little children. If they wanted to, they didn't need to do this. I don't think people ever bought a DVD and said, "Yeah, I bought this for the bonus features." But they still made them anyways, and that shows care. It's not as grand as films like Rango, nor will they ever be. This kind of trend has been dead for a while, and I doubt it'll ever make a comeback with the internet up and about. But it's nice to appreciate the smaller stuff once in a while. Overall, I'm not saying that this film is perfect, the story is only okay, and the musical numbers are a mixed bag personally. But I think there's enough good here with the characters, humor, and overall effort put in here to give it a watch. If you can, try to get the DVD for all the bonus features, or you could just go into one of those free online sites and just watch the film if you're that kind of person. Strangely, a lot of the bonus features aren't actually online. The closest I could find was this menu guide that shows the hats of Mickey in the Opera Show minigame, but the interviews and other features are nowhere to be seen from what I could find. And that's sad. Now this movie make me sad.
Let's get this started!
I finished. I'm gonna start watching the bonus features now for old time's sake. You wanna get the snacks ready?
I gotcha!
I wanted a new door anyways.